Hey guys, today we're going to see how we can scrape the Yahoo Finance most active stocks. All right, this is set to India. I live in India. Otherwise, you can just change the domain to whichever country you are in, and it'll automatically point there anyway and copy that URL. This is the whole data. Fascinating, isn't it? We're going to scrape that using Beautiful Soup and Python. Okay, Beautiful Soup library for Python is what we're going to use, and this is a boilerplate code for that. So which is I'm just loading Beautiful Soup. I'm importing requests over here. I've already set the URL, so don't waste time. I've set this user agent as a header that we are going to send, where I want to pretend to be a Macintosh, a Safari on a Macintosh. Otherwise, you will probably get IP blocked anyway. I mean, blocked anyway, because if you identify anything other than a browser, especially a web crawler, you're most likely to get blocked. Okay? So let's get the data here. Okay? So we're going to call request dot get is the way to get it. Call the URL, but we're going to send the headers so that it thinks that we are just a browser on its morning walk. Okay, collect that in the response object. Then now we can do whatever we want with it. So the one thing that we're going to use that content for is to send it to Beautiful Soup. So to Beautiful Soup, we're going to send the response object with the content inside of it, because that's where the HTML lies, and we're going to tell it to parse it as an XML file, right, and curable like that. So I'm going to pass it to the soup variable. Now I can do soup dot select and query it like I query an XML a jQuery query. For example, I can just go dot class name, whatever class name, it'll give me a bunch of those objects. Or I can go give me this ID, it'll give me those. Or you can give me all the H1s, right? Or all the links, blah blah blah, or all the divs, right? Div. I can do whatever I want, or li, right? So here, let's see what we want based on this. We're going to use that a lot. Right click here, go to inspect in Chrome, beautiful tool. You can see that it's all laid out pretty simply using rows and columns in a table. So that's, and I like the fact that I call it simple table row, simple row, right? That's the class name, and it keeps going down like that. Let's just try and extract this before we go further into the actual cells itself. Let's just see if we can get the sim table row. Okay, so I'm just going to get that. I'm just tempted to get started here. So it's a class name, so I'm just going to go do that. So that will give me an array as object. So I'm just going to go for each on it. Right? For item in. This will give me a bunch of objects. So I can print the item, print item. Then I'm just going to print a separator because I'm expecting a lot of gibberish here. Makes it a little bit more. So let's just call it Yahoo best or whatever, top. Is it? Yeah, most active. So active. I'll call it active stocks.py. Okay. And let me just clear this stuff. And then I'm going to call it Python 3. Let's run it. Yahoo. What did we call it? Active.py. There you go. You can see if you look at the separator here, each separator starts with the tr, the table row, and ends with the table row. So this whole HTML, we've neatly divided into pieces where the rows exist. So now we can just query this. Very difficult now to get anything wrong, isn't it? It's much more confident. So I always like to divide the HTML into the way I want it to be. That's the first sort of rule of web scraping, I would say. Now what I'll do is, let's just see how we can get what data. Yes. So if I see here already, the TD, the things have a class name. They don't have a class name, but they have a meaningful class name doesn't exist, but they do have a meaningful array label attribute. So let's just see if we can pull out the symbol using the array label attribute symbol with the S capital. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just call item dot select instead of the entire document, and then I will do, instead of doing dot, which means class name, I'm just going to go the attribute name, which is araya label equals, um, it was called symbol with the S capital. Okay, so now this, if I print, I should be able to get the symbol name. Wrong, because this will give me an array. Okay, so to, even though it's actually just one symbol, but the code doesn't know there's only one piece of data. It always tries to give you as much as possible, everything there. So select actually means select everything. So here, so I know it's an array with only one piece, so I'm just going to call the first item of that array. And that's not enough. We need to, because we need to remove the HTML if there's any. So always good idea to call the get text function built into soup. And then I'll just print this. And let's see if we can get symbol. Okay, I'm just going to remove this. That HTML, we don't need that. There you go. We got it. We got all the symbols that we need. Okay, so let's keep going. What else we need? We need the name. All right, let's do that. I can go ahead and just actually copy this a few times. So I need the name in capital. Let's see what else we need. And price intraday. So what are we going to do with this weird brackets there and the space there? So I'll tell you what we can do. We can just use a double quote. Use that within double quotes. It'll still give the result, trust me. And then let's see if we can get change. It's very case sensitive, so you have to be careful not to type it and just copy paste it. So that's the easiest way. Percentage change. Now you can see that the change is not capitalized. So that's important as well. But here, I would suggest you put the double quotes. Remove that. Percentage change. Is that enough data? Let's keep going till we reach P ratio, right? Okay, percentage change, volume. Let's get volume. Boom. Then we get average volume. Again, even though that's awkward, don't worry about it. And then double quotes. Boom. Okay. Let's copy a couple more times. I think we need two more of this. Here we go. Market cap. Copy that. Put that here. There we go. And then P ratio. Paste. Let's run it. That's a big leap of faith, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Price intraday. Didn't quite work. Price intraday the way we. I think it's all. Oh yeah, okay. Because I didn't copy it properly. This not the packet is not closed. There we go. So I think that was just a copying issue. Here we go. We got everything, guys. Got everything. Name, power grid, name of the company itself, blah blah blah, all those other details. Okay, all the pieces. Now you do whatever you want with it. And you can keep pinging this every few seconds. If you do that, make sure you change the user agent every few seconds. Get a list of it, put it in an array, and rotate them every time you send a different user agent with a different version number. There's a bunch of these online. You can just Google user agent stringless. You'll get it. Put in a function, rotate them. Also rotate your IPs. To rotate your IPs, you can use a rotator proxy rotator like Proxies API. I run this, so it's in my interest totally that you use this. Please use it. It's completely free for 1,000 API calls a month, so it'll give you enough to play with and even test for even larger scale projects. you can just call my API endpoint instead of calling Yahoo Finance, pass the Yahoo Finance URL to me, and I will route it through more than 2 million, a pool of 2 million proxies, residential, private, secure proxies. Okay, and automatically I'll retry till you get your data. Right, the service automatically does that. It automatically rotates user agent strings, which is the browser entities. It automatically solves captchas for you. It even renders Ajax JavaScript stuff for you. Okay, there is no way basically you will get IP block more or less unless the web server itself is down. You will get your data, and hundreds of customers use it for millions of URLs every single day. We're an infrastructure which scales very easily. More or less all the needs we've seen so far, we've done ourselves about more than almost touching 100 uh, web scraping, web crawling projects of different sizes, enterprise level to small levels, to just one page scraping to everything. We've seen it all. And all of that experience, this was born out of that. You can read more of that on our website here as to how we started and why we built it and everything. And please go check it out, proxiesapi.com. If you don't, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. I enjoyed teaching it very much. Thank you very much.